Rock100DIZ.com.
The season's over. If your team is not in the playoffs, put your jerseys up. Because the season is finally over. Oh my goodness, Atlanta's the first seed. And Tampa Bay and the New York Giants are sitting on the bench with the Redskins. But that's all right. I guess I'll root for the Steelers to go to the Super Bowl. I'd like to see old Ben Roethlisberger against Michael Vick.
You want a Keystone State Super Bowl?
Hey, I don't want the Patriots there. I don't like the Patriots. I dislike the Patriots.
You respect the Patriots, though.
You got to respect the winner. I don't like the colors of the team. They just look ugly.
What, red, white, and blue?
They look ugly.
I think you're the only person that's ever said that about their uniform. I mean, it's one thing not liking if you don't like Brady or something like that, but I don't know anybody's ever
I don't like
dissed
the uniform. I don't like. Bring back the guy that had the. What was his name?
The Patriot there.
Yes.
The guy that had the football.
Yes, I love that.
I think he was Patriot Pat, with the new guy they call Elvis.
Well, I don't like Elvis. I like Patriot
Elvis.
Pat.
Yeah.
You know, because the Patriots back in the day, they're like the lovable losers.
Well, I do sell a lot of, because I do have a sports novelty thing I do on the side. We do sell a lot of throwback red Patriot jerseys. People like the red ones, too.
See, I like that, too. But anyhow, on the Sports Crunch with yours truly, the captain, along with my buddy Paul Hollywood, our YouTube segment. Let's get things started. First of all, I want to talk about bowl games. Because we were, bowled out, people. First of all, we saw West Virginia at North Carolina State.
That was 23-7. Now, that game was not that great, but the one I saw on New Year's Day was even worse.
I mean, that was
49-7. That was brutal.
That's like, why did they even bother coming? Alabama.
I'll tell you now, Alabama, they're going to look back on the season and say they dropped the ball when they lost to Auburn. Because I think right now they are probably the best team in college football.
You think if Alabama and Auburn played right now that Alabama
would be? No, I really believe that.
Well, they only played Michigan State.
Yeah. Well, no, I think Auburn will be I think they'll clean Oregon's clock, and I think they will be the national champions. So the SEC will do it proud. Now, we know nothing about that day. It was a very bad day for the Big Ten because it seemed like every team got blown out.
Yes, you were referring to that over at Larry G's party. Big shout out to our buddy Larry G. Thanks for having us over for his annual
Capital One post-game spread.
Soiree. Yes, you got to do that more often. I overheard something about Easter over at his place.
What, they did what?
There's something about Easter. I kept hearing Easter.
No, 4th of July.
Oh, 4th of July.
He doesn't do Easter. It's 4th of July and New Year's Day. He breaks it up in the 6-month intervals. Actually, it's 7-month intervals.
Okay. So with that said, let's really jump right in to what's going on around sports, especially the NFL. Del Rio is going to return as the Jaguars head coach. We're waiting on Jeff Fisher to find out if he's still going to be around. Mangini got whacked.
And deservingly so.
We don't know what's going to happen with Jason Garrett. Who else?
Well, I think Jeff Fisher, I think he's going to determine what he wants to do there. I think that he's been there long enough, and Bud Adams respects him. It's just the fact that he does not want to deal with Vince Young anymore. So I think it's going to be like what Bill Parcells didn't want to deal with Terrell Owens. I think it might be one of those deals that he steps away on his own and gets a buyout.
And the guy Frazier, what was his first name?
Leslie Frazier got the job for the Minnesota Vikings. He deserves it. He brought the team back to respectability, and I think he's somebody. One thing about having a former player as your coach, he's not going to throw you under the bus. I mean, for some reason, Brad Childress, he had this thing wanting to throw Brad Favre under the bus and everything, but then he's no picking him up at the airport, it was a crazy relationship. And I'll tell you now, if I was any team, I would never want Brad Childress as my head coach again. Maybe as a coordinator, but you never want him as the head guy because he doesn't know how to protect the team. He's not a good buffer.
Wow, you really put him out there.
I think what he did was terrible. You got to be a buffer for the players. I mean, it's like what happened in the debacle last week when Minnesota beat Philly on that Tuesday night game. What do you call it? Andy Reid took the whole hit, and then Michael Vick came out in the press conference and said, "Hey, it wasn't his fault. They had a good plan and everything. We just didn't execute." But I mean, the players respect Andy Reid, that he's willing to take the whole blame, that he's not getting on the mic, well, Michael Vick didn't do this, or Deshaun Jackson didn't do that. And, nobody likes to be thrown under the bus. So Andy Reid's got enough, I guess, cred built up in that thing that he takes the hit for the players, and they respond. They appreciate that.
Good for him. Good for him. Now, moving along, UCF won a bowl game?
Well, yeah, and it was kind of a really boring bowl game, but, they won 10-6, so they've got their first bowl win. They were ranked in the top 25, so probably when the final ratings come in, they're probably going to be ranked in the top 20, because there's some teams that were in the top 25 that got shellacked in their bowl games, so UCF's probably going to finish the season in the top 20.
I'm sick.
Well, it was an exciting game, but they beat an SEC team, and actually going into that before New Year's Day, the SEC was 0-2, so, it looks better for them, the fact that they did beat the SEC. They rebounded big time on New Year's Day, SEC, but on New Year's Eve, the SEC was 0-2 in bowl games.
Now, what about the Gators? Did they do anything?
The Gators beat Penn State. That was 38-24.
And that was your favorite bowl game, wasn't it?
The Outback Bowl.
Yeah, so
and it's weird about the Outback Bowl. Remember that used to be like 11 o'clock in the morning, but since the Gators and Penn State were in it this year, it was actually moved to 1 o'clock, and it was on ABC, and it knocked the Capital One Bowl on the ESPN, because the Capital One Bowl is usually on ABC, but they knocked that to ESPN, and I'm sure they're glad they did that, because that game was a stinker. ABC on the network got a better game, and they probably got way better ratings.
Well, they probably figured since it's Florida that everybody was out drinking and hanging out at Mons Venus the night before for New Year's.
Yes. Well, it was a bad year for the Orlando Bowls, because you had the game the night that we went. They were competing with the makeup game for the, with the Minnesota and the Eagles. So, everybody's watching the NFL over a college game.
Yeah, that was the Champs Bowl.
I mean, unfortunately, Champs Bowl probably really got thumped in the ratings because everybody wanted to watch the NFL, and that was over air broadcast as opposed to being on cable. So Champs Bowl usually gets a pretty good rating. This year it didn't work out.
Well, actually, Champs Bowl said that there was 15,000 people that couldn't make it to the game because of the snowstorm.
Yeah, bad snowstorm in the Northeast. You have West Virginia. I think they said 15,000 of the fans could not get down, and even probably some of the NC State fans, because Carolina got pounded on a weekend too. So I think the only people that got down were probably people that left early enough before that storm came.
That's true, because that was the weekend that we were in Jacksonville, and it was
cold.
It was cold up there.
There was snow flurries up there. We could see flickering around.
So, hey, the Sports Crunch rolls along. 888-860-0157. Put you in touch with us. Paul Hollywood, yours truly, the captain. Real quick, TCU. We're going to talk NFL, people. We're going to recap everything with the NFL. Okay, well, I'm just trying to get the bowl stuff out of here.
Now, TCU, I think that they should be co-national champions. 12-0, look very good in their bowl game, and it's been done before. We had a co-national champion, and they went undefeated. I don't really think you really need to have another playoff or something. I think that they are deserving of being 12-0 and winning their bowl game. Against a number 5 ranked team in Wisconsin. I think they're worthy of being number 1.
So Oregon is number 2?
Oregon is number 1 right now.
Oh, Oregon is the top dog.
No. Oregon's 2, Auburn's number 1.
So if Auburn beats Oregon, should TCU be a co-champion?
Yes. I believe they should.
Wow.
In fact, I was wrong on that. Oregon's number 1, Auburn's number 2. So if Auburn beat Oregon, they would be I think TCU and Auburn should be, or even if Oregon wins, whoever would win, I think TCU should be the co-national champion. I know people aren't happy with that, but that's what I think.
I can't even talk after that. What's up with Charlie Weiss being hired in Florida?
Obviously, he did not like working in Kansas City. I don't know if he didn't like working with the head coach or Josh McDaniel, or he didn't like working with the no, it's not Josh McDaniel. He's the one who got fired from Denver. But I'm having a brain thing now. Who is the head coach of Kansas City?
I don't even know the guy's name.
Yeah, tell you the truth, he's part of that New England. He was assistant coach of New England, just like Josh McDaniel was. So I'm thinking Josh McDaniel, but I can't think of the guy's name. But supposedly Charlie Weiss doesn't get along with him, and he wants to move on to greener, warmer pastures.
So he's going to be the
offensive coordinator for Florida.
Why don't he be the head coach at Florida?
Because they already named a head coach.
And who's the head coach?
I can't.
I got him twice, people.
Oh, man. You threw me
Larry
under the
G,
bus.
I got him twice.
You threw me under the bus.
Wow. And speaking of throwing people under the bus, I think are we ready for our first break? I think we're about ready for the first break. Almost. See, we're so uncoordinated around here today. But it is the Sports Crunch right here on Rock100GIC.com.